What up, YouTube? It's your girl Tasha, aka TByrd Fitness, and welcome back to my channel, y'all. As you guys can see by the title, today we are going to talk about uterine fibroids. Yeah, it's something serious. I don't know if you guys saw my intro video, but I did mention in my intro video that I do have uterine fibroids, and I've known about them for like less than a year of actually knowing that I've had them, but I'm sure I've had them longer. So before I go into a little bit backstory about my story dealing with uterine fibroids, I'm going to let you guys know exactly what uterine fibroids are. FYI, uterine fibroids are non-cancerous tumors that live either outside or within the uterine wall. They can also live within the uterus. They are usually, as I mentioned, they're usually non-cancerous, so people can live their entire lives without having them removed. They usually don't cause a lot of issues, but they can cause major problems. For example, a lot of women with uterine fibroids experience heavy menstruals, a lot of pain during menstruals, and just a lot of discomfort. For me personally, and also they experience prolonged menstrual cycles. For me personally, I used to have really bad menstruals, but within like the past like 2 to 3 years, I haven't had them that bad. But I used to have to I couldn't do anything the first day of my menstrual cycle. Nothing. I would be sick, had diarrhea, TMI, vomiting, all of that, really bad cramps, like my stomach felt like it was on fire. But it has gotten better, which is kind of weird to me that it's gotten better, and I'm just now discovering that I have uterine fibroids. I don't know. So that's just a little bit about uterine fibroids. A lot of African American women will experience uterine fibroids within their life. They say about 70% of African American women will experience having uterine fibroids, which suck. There's no common cause to it that has been found. There's a lot of people with different research on, remedies they can do to prevent them, but nothing has been concrete to preventing uterine fibroids and also to treating uterine fibroids. There's still a lot of research that needs to be done. So, I'm just going to tell you guys my story. I discovered I had uterine fibroids just this year. But prior to, so let's go back 3 years ago, I went in for my annual well woman's exam, and my doctor informed me that my uterus felt enlarged and very high up. So she recommended that I go in and I get an ultrasound, and of course I was like, okay, well, uterine fibroids, I've heard about them, I heard they're benign, I'm not really worried about it. So I didn't go in. To say the least, I didn't go in, and I waited until my next annual appointment. I went in, I was like, hey doc, how's everything feeling down there? Does my uterus feel enlarged? It's the same doctor, and she said no. She said it feels normal. So okay, well, cool, I had to get an ultrasound. Come this year, I go in for my annual exam, and I asked my doctor again. I said, okay, so how does my uterus feel? And she informed me that it did feel enlarged. And again, she recommended that I have an ultrasound. I'm 29 years old. I just turned 29. My wife and I are planning to have kids. So now I'm taking it more serious, which I should have did back 3 years ago. But now I'm taking it more serious. So I actually went in to get the ultrasound. Mind you, at this point, I've been very excited. My wife and I were planning to try our first round of but our first time trying to conceive via donor sperm. I was going to try in November, so I've been tracking my ovulations constantly, doing everything I need to do to make sure that once we try it, we can hopefully have a successful attempt on the first try. So I'm taking it more serious. So I went in for my ultrasound because I want to make sure everything is alright with my uterus and it's healthy. When I went in for my ultrasound, they discovered that I had 3 uterine fibroids. That was at that time. That's all they saw on the ultrasound, 3 uterine fibroids. So I was like, okay, I wasn't like too down because I suspected it because my mother also has uterine fibroids. It's not hereditary in the sense that you pass it down from generation to generation, but it is hereditary. So African American women are more likely to develop them. So I wasn't shocked. I was okay with being diagnosed with uterine fibroids. My issue was, can I still try to conceive with these fibroids? And the answer was up in the air. They discovered that one was about 9 centimeters at the time, and that was the biggest one. I had 2 predominant ones. One was 9 centimeters, and which was towards the front of my uterus, and the other one was about 3 or 4 centimeters towards the back of my uterus. So they recommend that I talk to the doctor or get a referral to the fertility clinic. So I did that. I went to the fertility clinic, and actually before that, which really made me upset, they sent me to another doctor in the same building, basically, because I was seeing a nurse practitioner, so they sent me to actually see the OBGYN. And the OBGYN basically didn't even ask me questions and just said, okay, I'm going to refer you to this fertility specialist. So, make a long story short, I go see the fertility specialist. When I get in there, I was a little nervous because this time my wife was with me and we was going to figure out like what exactly was going on and what she couldn't see and in her professional opinion. So we get in there and she does another ultrasound, and without any hesitation, she's like, yeah, okay, so if you're planning on having children soon, you will need to have these removed. When I heard that, I started to cry. Because it was more like, okay, things are not going to go as planned. I'm not going to be able to try to conceive with my wife for the first time in November, which what we planned. So I was a little taken aback, and also she informed me of other things that, you know, made my ideal pregnancy journey less of a reality to me. She informed me that if I do have them removed, more than likely, if I was to get pregnant afterwards, I will have to have a C-section, a cesarean during delivery, which really brought me to tears because I had this whole idea on how I want my pregnancy to go, which I know I work with pregnant women all the time. I know things do not go as planned, but I have my fairy tale. So that really made me cry, and I was very emotional about, you know, having that. So when she informed me of that, she was very standoffish, you know, wasn't like warm, and she didn't even have tissue to give me to wipe my eyes. So I didn't feel I valued her opinion because she is a professional, but I felt like I needed a second opinion. So that's when I went to Mayo Clinic to get a second opinion and to get more information about my options. Because yes, I do want to carry a child. If God is willing, I want to carry a child on my own. So go to Mayo Clinic, see the doctor, inform him about my symptoms. We have a conversation. He said, okay, well, I want to schedule you for an MRI because an MRI will allow me to see exactly more precise where the fibroids are located. And also it would allow me to give you a better idea of what your options are. So y'all, I get this, and going for my MRI. I've never had an MRI before, y'all. I haven't really had any major medical issues, so I haven't really had to do certain things. Like they shot up saline in my veins because they had to give me a contrast, and that was the weirdest experience of my life because the taste of like metal, it was like instant. You know me, I was like, is this what an addict feels when they're shooting up? And the doctor was like, yeah, so whatever. I'm not going to go into the weeds with that. So I am in an MRI. It takes about 2 hours, which was longer than expected for me to get the MRI. It takes me about 2 hours, and basically I was done. So me, I'm very impatient, so I was checking my mobile app afterwards, see, okay, where are the images, because I want to see what they were. So I'm going to post a few of them in this video of what my MRIs look like. They're really cool to me. I think stuff like that is really cool. So I get my MRI images back, and also I get information from the doctor of what my options are. To hear what my options are, make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this. Until next time, bye y'all.